Hello painting peeps and welcome. It's Kathleen from COZ Creations. Welcome to the No Brow Zone number 2, guys. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be here, but you know that. I'm going to talk about a couple of things before we get painting today. I'm going to answer a few questions, demonstrate a couple of things. Some things that I get the same questions about over and over again, so I thought maybe we would address it. And they're all real simple things. So we're going to be doing a swipe today. We're going to be doing a swipe because I haven't done one in a while, or the kind of swiping that I used to do a lot of, and I am a swiping kind of girl, so I am happy about that. We're going to be working today on a 16 by 20 gallery wrap canvas, and I'm going to talk about that canvas here in a minute. But one of the questions that people ask me about is, what do I swipe with and how do I dampen my paper towels? So this is what I do. I take about 6 or 7 paper towels and I lay them all in a stack like this. And then I grab my squeeze bottle and I squeeze on the bottom inch some water. And then I flip them over and I squeeze on the bottom inch some more water. And then I stack them next to me and I grab them as I need them. Sometimes I want a smaller piece, so I just cut it off. Sometimes I want a bigger piece, so I have 3 or 4 pieces of paper towel that I don't, cut them from the perforated edges. So these guys kind of hang out right next to me on the right, and I use them as I please, and they stay wet for the duration of my painting. Let's get those drips of water out of there. My paints. Let's talk about the canvas first. Let me get these out of the way because I don't want to forget to talk about that because it's kind of important. So I'm going to be working today on a 16 by 20 canvas, and I'm going to paint on it in a horizontal fashion rather than vertical. Now I can certainly do vertical, but the reason I am choosing horizontal is because depending on where I put my swipe line, for example, I'm probably going to do this down the middle. I have less distance to travel from here to here and from here to here when I swipe my paints. If I was swiping in a vertical, horizontal vertical, in a vertical, and I put my swipe line in the middle, I have a longer distance to travel. So if I wanted to leave more negative space or more of the base coat exposed in my swipe, I would do it vertical, because by the time the paper towel travels down this distance, when it gets towards the end, most of the paint has kind of moved off the paper towel, versus this way where it's a shorter distance, then most of the paint will travel all the way down to the edge. So a little tidbit of information there for you guys. Let me bring my paints back because they are yummy and I want to talk about them. Our pouring medium today is what I use when I do a swipe. It's 50% Floetrol and 50% Golden Gac 800. That works perfectly for my swipes. How much water do I add? It depends on my paints. The perfect scenario for me are my golden fluid paints. Fluid up there in the corner. They're more fluid than your tube paints. My golden fluid paints with 50% Floetrol and 50% Golden Gac 800, I almost never need to add water to it. What's my paint to pouring medium ratio? When I'm doing a swipe, I mix up my pouring medium in a container. I put 50% Floetrol, 50% Golden Gac 800, and I stir the heck out of it. I stir it because the Floetrol is heavier than the Gac, and the Floetrol will sink to the bottom. So every time I use it, I stir the heck out of it. I put 1 part paint in my cup and 4 to 5 parts pouring medium when I'm using my golden paints. Why so much pouring medium? Because my golden paints are so highly pigmented that they can handle it. And if you give them a try, you'll see exactly what I mean. Now, absolutely no water has been added to any of these paints except this one. That's because these are all fluid paints. Right here we have golden fluid in the iridescent gold. Right here we have golden fluids, the Q word, nickel azo gold fluid paint. Right here we have golden iridescent pearl in the fluid paint. Right here we have golden fluid acrylics in the bone of black, fluid paint. Right here we have a tube paint. We have a combination of Arteza Pearl Spice Gray in the tube paint, and I put in a few drops to lighten it up so it was more of a contrast to this black right here. I put a few drops of the golden iridescent silver in it. Now, let me show you that paint. Right here on this paper plate, I have a little dollop right there of the Arteza Pearl Space Gray, which I had to add water to. These other paints, I did not, because they're fluid paints. Right here is the same amount of paint, where'd it go, in my golden fluids bone black. Let's tilt that. Can you see the difference, guys? Fluid paint, heavier body paint, a medium body paint. This paint is more fluid. So why did I have to add water to this paint right here? To bring it down to the consistency of my other paints. And let's take a look at that consistency. It leaves very little trace. My paints are thin when I do a swipe. They're not as thin as the pearl pour technique, and they're close to the Dutch pour technique. Probably maybe a little bit more water, a little bit more fluidness for the Dutch pour. So fluid paint, medium body paint with my pouring medium, plus water to bring it down to the consistency of these other fluid paints. So I hope that helps, guys. 3 little tidbits. Density of paints, the amount of water that you use, the pouring medium that works best for me, 50% Floetrol, 50% GAC 800, 1 part paint to 5 to 5.5 parts pouring medium. No water is needed in my paints if they're a fluid paint. Water is needed if it's a heavier body paint. Orientation of canvas will dictate the amount of negative space that's left behind. Damp paper towels, stack them up, squeeze your water, flip them over, and squeeze more water. So there you have it, guys. Our base coat. Our base coat is going to be an absolutely lovely silver. Let's take a look at this consistency. It is the same as these paints. I mix my base coat the same way I mix my swiping colors. Very fluid. Our base coat today is Pebeo Studio Acrylics in the Iridescent Silver with DecoArt Extreme Sheen Silver. The reason I did that is I did not have enough of this paint. I also put a squirt of Good Luck of the golden iridescent silver in there, and then I topped it off with a little bit of the Vallejo pearl medium. And I don't know if I said that right. but I know you guys will correct me if I have not. So this also took some water because I used a medium body paint with a medium body paint. So water was added to this. So I hope that helps, guys. I'm going to put some tunes on for you. I'm putting some tunes on for me, and we're going to do a little swipe, guys. I'm glad you're here. Let's get busy.
So full of self-confidence, and everything you said made a lot of sense. I thought I was too cold to ever love again, but every single word cut through the rain. We see the distance grow, I just need to know, do you even feel the same? I'm living in your messages. Funny how just a few letters in a row can turn into a smile, and now you can't let go. Oh, oh. We see the distance grow. I just need to know